welcome everybody. Episode number 27, the Scotty Niedermeyer edition of Hat Trick Hockey. What a fucking career that guy had. This episode, as always, brought to you by our good friends over at GL Heritage, the official beer of Hat Trick Hockey. Rob, what's going on, man?
Oh, fucking enjoying life. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully everybody was safe. See, the cases are fucking just ramping up like crazy in this area. It's going all nutty. Oh, is this ever going to end, you think, or what?
No, it's not. It's not. I don't think it'll end until they shut us down.
Mm-hmm. I know. As bad as it sounds, man, I think you're right. Let's I
think you're gonna have to do a 3 to 4 week fucking hiatus and just shut it down.
Yeah, everything but pharmacies, hospitals, grocery stores, and gas stations.
Well, I just heard there's a thing going on in the police department. The Windsor police.
Oh yeah, it's spreading like crazy there.
Running rampant through there. It didn't say what like I was listening to AMA 100, and they were saying just how it's just everywhere. And you look at our town, Essex. It's just getting smashed here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
shutting down the liquor store. The fucking liquor store, bro.
You got to go to Harrow or Kingsville now.
Fuck McGregor.
Or that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy times around here right now for us. That's why I said, well, not only are we trying to get our YouTube page going. So while I mentioned that, everybody, if you see, we're putting our episodes out on YouTube now. So you can go to YouTube and you can watch us just like this. Everybody, subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And you can see the boys, even though we had a face for like radio, but I guess we're going to come at you with like YouTube. Yeah. So we're going to be on there for a bit. So go over there, like us, subscribe to us, and follow the boys online here on YouTube as we make our video journey now, Rob. We're starting that out. So that should be good. Also, we're going to also throw in some more shirt designs into the store. We're going to get some new ones in there. The other ones are just kind of starting off. And I think if we upgrade our shirts, I think it'll be awesome for everybody. Yeah. Rob's got his Total Butte shirt on over there. I'm in my just Hat Trick Hockey logo one. So, but yeah, so the store, everybody knows over at Laser Art, you can check our links out on the page there and order some merch. So a new shirt's coming soon. We're going to put Drew on that
beautiful mug all the time.
Yeah. Now I'm going to have to like make sure I'm clean, like shaven and stuff kind of, so I don't look like a complete fucking bum on here.
No, you still look like a bum.
Yeah, I know. I have a face for radio. So we'll get out of her right here. So real quick, we'll go into what's hot right now. Team Canada is absolutely fucking white hot right now. They have outscored opponents 39-4 in this tournament so far. They have like what, 2-3 shutouts. That kid, you think his stock draft's going up? What a fucking tournament that kid is having right now. So what I'm going to ask you, Rob, is Canada US. They're playing tonight. We're recording Tuesday. They're playing tonight at 9:30 on TSN, I believe. Rob, if you had to say now, it's obviously going to be a Canada win, but what do you think's going to happen tonight?
5-2.
5-2, just bam, just like that. Eh?
Yep.
Empty netter.
And did you know that both goalies that are playing in this game are draft picks of the Florida Panthers?
For the same team.
Yep.
Oh, that's going to suck for them, in a couple of years. Jesus. This Canada goalie is something else. Like, I thought Mikey was on fire there until this kid came in.
He can break every record tonight.
Yeah.
With a couple of things. I don't remember exactly what they were.
Okay, but he's like record-breaking shit tonight.
Yeah, he's breaking records tonight.
Well, hopefully he keeps going, man, because what a tournament that kid has had.
It's got to be like, I'm pretty sure it's like goals against, shutouts, whatever. I probably jinxed him right there. Fuck, my bad, whatever. But I didn't. He may not get shutout, but they are going to fucking annihilate. And you know what's going to be awesome? It's Canada US again. This is going to be the roughest game that Canada's played all tournament.
It seems to always be Canada, US all the time.
Well, Russia never even showed up. That game was over in the first 4 minutes of that.
I know, it was crazy. I seemed like it was 2-0. I was watching it. I went upstairs. I grabbed a few things or whatever. I came back down and it was 4-0.
Yeah,
crazy. I was like, holy shit. So then later on in the game, I was saying to Steph said something about shutout, and I'm like, oh, like, just don't even say it. She's like, well, I didn't say that he was going to get one, but I'm like, I know, but you just said the word. And then like 2 seconds later, they scored. And then it got called back on that offside. She's like, see, it's all good. I was just like, oh my God.
Stupid girls.
Yeah. But yeah, so Canada goes tonight at 9:30 on TSN.
Love you, Steph. Love you, Steph.
Also, so your boy Joe Thornton, they've announced that he's going to play on the first line and he's going to go on the wing, and these 2 line mates are going to be none other than Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. So what do you think of that?
Well, Mitch is going to have to learn how to fucking shoot a little bit more, because Jolton Joe, that's what he does. He sets up. So, you know what I mean? Like, I would have loved to have seen Joe and Spezza and Simmons.
You still may. You still
yeah.
Never know. Yeah. If you're trying to wear fucking someone down, right? You could throw those guys on the ice and just let them cycle and hit and cycle and hit and cycle and hit, just wear people down, right? Some of those old dogs, man.
Cycle and hit one more time.
Cycle and hit. But those guys those are the vets, man. Those are the guys that will fucking wear you down. They know how to wear you down, and that's why those guys have been in the league for so long, because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Also,
that was a great pickup. I don't care what anybody says. It's for the fucking money. You know, it was like Corey Perry. Like, Toronto was looking at Corey Perry before they were looking at Simmons. Like, can you imagine Simmons instead of Simmons, you have Corey Perry? Like, that fucking rat, he'd ruin a lot of days.
Oh yeah. Did we talk about Big Z?
No, we haven't.
Okay, so you know what? I didn't even
that he hadn't gone anywhere yet.
Okay, I didn't even have that in my notes. So obviously everybody knows Big Z, Zdeno Chara, signed in Washington. So he signed a 1-year deal in Washington. Apparently, they were trying to like limit his role and stuff in Boston. They were saying that he was going to be healthy scratch some nights and stuff like that. And obviously,
on back-to-back games, right? He's getting up there. Like, what is he? 53.
Seems like it, but no, he's like, I think he's 43, but but still though, he can still log. Like, you don't put him on those 25-30 minutes a night like he used to play, but you could
he runs triathlons, he does decathlons, he fucking that guy is the shit. Like, I when Toronto was talking about picking him up, but you know, here you go. Now you're going to a cup contender. Not to say that Boston isn't a cup contender. Fuck you, Boston. But yeah. You know, he's in the right place, and you know, like they picked him up to ruin Crosby's day.
And he's on a team friendly deal too. He signed for like $790K or something.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not about money, right?
No, he's got all the money.
Oh, he's fucking banked back.
He's probably this guy in the NHL, you know.
And he's probably made what, 80-90 million over his career, probably. At least he's been in the league forever.
Yeah.
But but I think he could still probably play him 18 minutes a night, roughly.
Sure you could.
You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a problem. And that wouldn't even be wearing him out. You could play him every night at that. And he'd probably okay.
It all depends on how the season and everything's going to go. Like, you know, when you think about it, they're going to be doing like baseball now, right? So they're going to go in there and play 2-3 times in a 5-day schedule. They're going to play 2 or 3 times in each hometown, you know, like.
So how they're doing it is,
I can't wait. And we're right around the corner.
We're like
right around the corner.
Just over a week away.
Camps just opened up.
So it's going to be 2 games. So they're going to go into a city and they're going to play 2. Because I was looking at the like Red Wings one there, and theirs was all 2 games, 2 games, 2 games, 2 games, 2 games. It was all 2.
No, and I also saw somewhere that it was 3-5.
Oh, but doesn't
Too.
one of the other divisions
Not everybody, just some teams there's some 3-5 schedules.
I think maybe Detroit's division's maybe one of the ones that has one of the smaller divisions, because I know one of them has like, I don't know, don't quote me, but I think one of them had like 7 teams opposed to 6 or 7 or whatever, or 8 instead of 7. I don't know, but I thought that one team had, or one thing had more teams. I don't know. I could be fucking way off, which has been known to happen here too. But
Well, because you don't do your research.
But I thought that's just what I heard somewhere. So,
E-Dog tell you that?
Yeah. Well, he was too busy reading Pete the Cat. He fucking didn't care about hockey tonight.
New shoes.
So Barzell. He's been holding out. Apparently he signed into camp. So he's there and everything, but he's holding out. He wants about around 10 mil a year. Do you think he gets that?
10 mil for Barzell.
For Barzell.
No.
You don't think he gets 10?
Nope.
I bet you he does.
10 mil a year?
I bet you he does. His numbers, man. His numbers are too good. Look at him last year in the playoffs. He was awesome.
I don't know.
That's what's hard, right? Goal scoring nowadays is, and he's those young talents. I think he's fresh off his entry level deal. I don't know. I could see him getting 9 to 10-ish. What do you think he should get if you had to pay him?
Fuck. Like, as a general manager, I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, it's not bad. Could be worse.
You know what I mean? Like, well, how much money are you taking? See, I'm a big fan of the Stevie Yzerman fucking way of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, renegotiate my contract so I can win a couple cups, and you know, fucking bring more better people in. You know, I in all honesty, I think Austin Matthews took too much, then Marner took too much, and fucking Nylander fucked everything. You know, you're going to give Nylander X amount of dollars, and Matthews is going,
Think about it though. If like all those guys took deals where they all made, like, let's say they all made that 7 to 9 mil range, right? Think about it. You're opening up like what, $4 or $5 million a year if they took like $1 mil or $2 million less, like team friendly deals. Like, you're still making fucking bank. Like, you know what I mean? Like, absolute bank.
Well, for our fans, who does Barzell play for?
The Islanders.
Right. So it's the fucking Islanders.
True.
Here we go back to the Islanders.
Yeah.
You know, like I would make sure that Matt Martin got paid so that I could go run around and do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Martin did sign.
No. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I would make sure that because Matt Martin can't be on the ice all the time.
No.
So
definitely cannot. So we'll see what happens there. Who knows though? Other thing too, remember how we were talking about Pierre-Luc Dubois? Remember how he just signed that deal in Columbus there? He wants out. So he wants to trade out of Columbus. And
does he want out?
Apparently it's him and Tortorella aren't getting along.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff on that today, and that does not look like a good situation. It sounds like from what I was reading from Dubois is that I didn't get that he wanted to leave. I get that he wanted to get paid, but being that the COVID is where it is, you know, he's not going to get the money because you don't know where hockey's going to fucking be next year.
Well, he did. I think he signed. Like, he got a nice deal.
I thought he's got.
No, I'm pretty sure he signed because I think you and I talked about it. He just signed a deal, like a nice deal, and then he So, and then I think him and Tortorella aren't getting along, and apparently his dad and Tortorella don't get along. But if my dad and my coach didn't get along, I'd be like, well, it's not you playing though, it's me. So, you know what I mean? So I don't see how that would have much of a factor. But I don't know, maybe him and Tortorella aren't really getting along, because we all know how Tortorella can be, right? And how do you think the guys are treating him in camp, knowing that he's at camp, knowing that he asked for a trade? Do you think the guys are going to be like, well, this guy don't want to fucking be here, so why the fuck should we like, if you don't want to be here, then why are you here? Do you think there's
he signed a $10 million 2-year extension.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
He's getting $5 million. What's Matthews getting?
Oh fuck,
What's fucking Line?
I don't even know. Probably double.
Right. So he's just saying, who wants to fucking be in Columbus? It's Ohio. Like,
yeah. Apparently he loves it there, but they're not gonna part with the coach, right? So it's either, think about it how it is for like management. So it's either like you keep your head coach or you keep your number one center, because who else is there? They got Max Domi now, but his numbers haven't really been the best since he's came into the league. It's not anywhere where he should be.
I'm going to take Dubois over fucking Domi.
I know, but I'm just saying though, but if he leaves and all you have left is Max Domi at center, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And he was their third round draft pick. Or first round draft pick, third overall.
Yeah, third overall pick.
Behind Matthews and Line.
That's what I mean. The guy's got skills, man. Like they'd be stupid to let him go. I
wonder if this has anything to do with when fucking Tortorella blasted him when he came over the bench in the playoffs, and then what did he do next night out with Toronto? Fucking scored a hat trick.
Yeah, hat trick. Yeah, but then you can look at your coach and say, "Fuck you." There you go. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. So apparently he's not happy. So we'll have to keep an eye on that whole situation to see what happens there, because that's going to be fucking interesting. Now
Toronto could afford him for fucking $5 million a fucking season.
Yeah.
That's 46 guys on my wagon now.
Yeah. We're starting to spread out to 3-4 wagons now. We're starting to get a chain there, string them all together.
Trailer hitch. Trailer hitch on my wagon.
Real quick before we get into a couple injury notes here. Colin Wilson retired, 632 games in the NHL. No, I didn't look up stats on him. I just knew the name. So congrats to him. That's a pretty hefty NHL career. That's a nice one. Speaking of NHL careers, I never fucking mentioned off the hop with Scotty Niedermayer. So speaking of careers, listen to this shit. 1,263 games, 740 points. He's won Olympic and world gold medals with Canada, Memorial Cup champ, 2-time WHL champion. He's a Conn Smythe winner. He's part of the Triple Gold Club, and he's won four-time Stanley Cup champ. Think he's won a couple things?
Yeah. But back to Wilson.
Yeah.
Wilson's retired because of a fucking surgery, right? Like I'm pretty sure it was a hip surgery.
Yeah.
And it's fucked him right up.
I hate seeing guys end their careers early because of fucking a hip, or especially I don't think he's crazy old, but I haven't really followed him that much. So, but I just knew the name when I seen him, so I thought I would bring it up real quick.
Yeah.
Couple things on the injury front. The Sabres we obviously know that they're starting to build a little bit of a wagon over there. So Captain Jack Eichel was out of practice for a couple days. It was reported day to day. Just said it was just an upper body injury. Obviously, they're not going to say anything with the season, from right now, 8 days away. So they're obviously not going to say anything, right? Other thing, injury note today actually just came in. I just seen it before we came on the air. Was Maple Leafs camp there. Alex Kerfoot left practice today with what they said was an upper body injury as well, and he's also been announced as day to day as well. So hopefully that's nothing too serious. It's obviously they're not going to say anything as to what the guys are injured with. Obviously, like I said, considering that season's so close, so speedy recovery to those guys. Real quick before we go into the interview, I want to talk to you about something real quick, Rob. I want to talk to you about the goalie situation in Las Vegas. Everybody's seems to make it sound like they're going to have issues between the two. Do you think they're going to have any issues between the two, or do you think they're just going to roll with the punches?
No, I think Fleury is just a fucking stud. Like, he don't care.
Do you think they're just going to work together?
Yep.
Because
he knows he's getting into the latter part of his fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, so he's going to do whatever it takes to help the team out. Like from what I get, he just seems to be that guy.
And from like, those two are going to have the best 1-2 goalie in the goalie punch in the league.
Yep.
Think about it. Oh, Leonard's going to have the night off today. Okay, but now you got to shoot on Marc-Andre Fleury. So
right.
It's going to be like, oh,
right.
like, you know,
Fleury's a fucking Hall of Famer. So what are you going to do?
100%. Fuck, if Leonard wins a cup, he might not be too far behind too, because his numbers have always been good too, man. Think about it. That guy started his career in Buffalo.
Smart. They wouldn't be pushing Fleury away too much. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if they were crazy confident in Leonard, like, you know,
right?
They're like, hey, Flower, you need to just, you know, stay over here. We'll pay you whatever. Just like, I don't know, man.
Could you imagine if when the Kraken come in and they don't protect Fleury, why wouldn't you fucking grab him?
And then he goes to launch another fucking franchise.
There you go. Hey, I'm back in the fucking playoffs again, and you know, count me out. Whatever you want to do. Like, everybody's saying, I don't know. I've seen some really things done from Vegas that I'm not too impressed with. You know, with Gerard Gallant bullshit, and now Fleury. You know, like, wasn't Fleury the number one pick that they picked?
Yep.
And then, you know, he plays and this was again, we're back on this where I said, you ride these guys all year. You don't do the split goalie system. And then it comes to the playoffs and he may be gassed. He may be tired, you know, who knows? Has a bad game. Oh, we put Leitner in. Everybody turns around and plays a different fucking game.
Yeah.
For this new goalie coming in, because, you know, you don't want to lose. And then next thing you know, Fleury's out. Like, how many times did we see that in the playoffs this year?
Oh,
all these new goalies. Binnington last year when St. Louis won.
Yeah, and then they got swept.
Right.
Like,
there you go.
So if you're the coach of Las Vegas right now, what are you doing when it comes to your goaltending situation?
I punch my general manager in the face.
And then tell him what?
You gave fuck yourself.
I'm going
with Fleury.
You gave me too good of a goalie situation.
No, I'm very happy with it because it's not hurting that team. You know what I mean? Like, you just ride it out.
But I mean, how do you play them? Do you split them in the games? Does one play more than the other?
You got to figure they're jam packing this fucking season in.
True. So they're gonna need all hands on deck, right?
As a coach myself, I go 1-1-1-1-1-1, not ride the hot one, because like it's got to suck as a goalie that the only time you get to play when you're the backup is on back-to-backs.
Yeah.
So
when you know that guy's doing shit, then they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But even if he had a bad game the night before, they put him back in, right?
I would do that 1-1. You know, here, you play him one night, you play him the next night. You play him one night, you play him the next night.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could work out your season that if you think that this guy is your hotter goalie, that he's going to play that team twice when he goes into that, you know, setting.
Yeah. So if he fucking shuts him out one night, then you go right back the next night with him, right? Like, and then you could flip it after that. But I guess you could just play it by ear. But I would try to play them as much as a split role as possible if I was them. Considering if you have them both, you might as well use them both. All right. So what do you think? Do we flip over to our interview? So we had Kevin Hamlin. We had him on so fucking long with us. We got a 2-parter with him. So we got part number 2 right now. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah. No, I just got to say something about Kevin. Like, I loved his stories, and if any of you coaches want to learn, you need to listen to these interviews.
Yes.
They're amazing.
Yes.
Just amazing.
Yeah, he sees the game. Not a lot of people see the game the way that Mr. Hamlin does. So, and like I said, he is, well, I said during the freaking interview there, towards the end of his interview, I just said like how much he's done for hockey in this area. So you guys will hear all that. We'll get right into it right now. So we'll fire it in. Here it is. Second part, Mr. Kevin Hamlin. Enjoy.
Roll it. Well, he also said that he chose the figure skating because he didn't like the physicality of the hockey game.
Yeah, because Lee's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he said nowadays he would have loved to play.
Oh, yeah. Completely different game. Speaking of that, Rob, well, which would lead me right into my next question. So the early 90s, you coached in Windsor in the OHL when the OHL was just completely insane. So how has like hockey changed from now to then that you've noticed?
well, like it's I mean, it's evolved in many ways, and if you're a traditionalist and you're, like who could deny that when they went down to the barn to see a hockey game on a Thursday night, that was more than a hockey game. That was a cultural experience and everything that went in it. And I saw the whole gamut. I started at the Windsor Arena as a house league player. I played all my travel there, was a visiting player coming into the barn to be heckled by the 4,000 people that did it real well. And then I was a Spitfire and kind of knew from that end how and was very grateful to play in that environment. So the game, like truthfully, it wouldn't do it justice to have a 5-minute, 10-minute conversation about how the game has evolved. That it's so significant because it's evolved with our culture. I don't know, like everything from in a classroom. I mean, teachers teach and treat their students in a classroom so much different today than they did 30 years ago. It's the same thing at the rink. Coaches, and 98% of it is for the good, right? We understand that. Mm-hmm. But to say to talk about its differences, well, I mean, I was really blessed when I was with the Spitfires because it was there that I had the opportunity to meet guys like Todd Warner and Corey Stillman and to see their skill level. And I mean, Todd would be the first one to tell you that both he and Stilly were not, the physicality part of the game was not their finest attributes. They were skill players, man. But they were the kind of players that, I mean, some people, I think they misunderstand, who and the attributes of skill players. Back then, you couldn't hide at Windsor Arena. So, you still had to go to the dirty areas. So you could be as skilled as you want. You're going to the net, and nobody went to the net better than Todd Warner and Corey Stillman here. I mean, so you still had to pay the price to get to the net. You still had to go get pucks. You still had to do all those things, right? So they were the kind of player that I would like to see today's skill players possess. Yeah. Not only were they skilled, but they were first at pucks. They would stand in front of the net. They thought that it was just as effective to redirect the puck into the net as it was to shoot a puck into the net. You don't get a lot of that today, to be perfectly honest. And the physicality of the game, I'm a big fan of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of concussions and things like that. That's a whole new topic. And I just think our game is so fast today that it really there's no wonder there's so many collisions caused through collisions and the speed is just out of control. Yeah. Back in those days in 80s and 90s, we had the red line and it kind of slowed things up through the neutral zone. And there wasn't, at times it was tight for players to get through and you had to handle pucks to make, short, quick passes and stuff like that. But you didn't have the guys buzzing through the neutral zone and open ice like they are now. You didn't have the size of the ice surfaces. Like it was really sexy to all the new rinks. They went to the Olympic size. Yeah. Now I think everybody wants the 200 by 85 again, because it's not a fan friendly sport as far as I'm concerned to go and watch a game played in a European style ice surface. Those are my tastes, right? So you asked me the question. I'm not suggesting that it's right or wrong for the game. I just I like the compete of the game, and I like the battle component of the game. And I think when we start taking that out of the game, then it's like flag football.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's just but anyway, that's I know that people will they have an opinion one way or another, and I just don't want our game to lose the sense of compete and battle, and I think we've gone a little bit too far in that direction, and I'd like to see it come back the other way a little.
I agree 100%.
Well, you can still put the physicality back in the game, but you just take the headshots out of the game. Like I agree 100%. I loved the game 10 years ago, but when they started attracting more of that European style with the speed and you could skate with a freaking carton of eggs and not break one. Like I started losing a lot of interest in hockey, but we get a lot of these old school guys on here who all love that part of the game, which I just have a hard time understanding why it's getting out of the game so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, just to be clear, am I considered an old school guy, Rob?
No, I am.
I think I am. 51, so no, I look, I think if you ask the players, they would probably want to incorporate a little bit of that tough stuff back in the game too. Nobody wants to play a game where injuries are as prevalent as the concussions are in today's game. But a lot of the injuries are through collisions and whiplashes, and when guys when they have when equipment has evolved the way they are, the skates and the light equipment has evolved in the manner that it has evolved over the past couple decades, it makes sense that people are going to be moving faster, and they can't get out of the way. And so I just think I think it was Bobby Orr who recently said that he wants to put the red line back in for that reason, and I'm an advocate of that, and I'm a pretty traditional guy. Like I don't like that people are trying to change the game all the time. We took the red line out because the NCAA universities were doing it. Mm-hmm. And we made the rinks bigger because that's what the NCAA and that's what Europe was doing, and that people thought that gave our skill guys time and space to make plays. Well, how about challenging our guys to make skill plays in smaller rinks?
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of skill and a lot of courage to be stick handling through traffic in a small arena like the Windsor Arena used to be, right? Yeah. Or 200 by 85. So, I know at our level, at the U Sport level, we have a whole gamut. Like here at the Capri Center, our rink is NHL size, 200 by 85. But we go to places like Camlin Yards at York or the University of Guelph, and it's Olympic size. So it really is a different game. Mm-hmm. So we have to be, we have to have versatile players that can adapt to, to different styles of play. Mm-hmm. And but nobody, back to your original question, like nobody will question, like when you went to the Windsor Arena on a Thursday night, that was an event, and that was something that you were going to remember.
Oh yeah.
There didn't have to be a fight that night, but you knew that you were leaving knowing something about the identity of the people here in Windsor, and I think we've lost that a little bit.
Do you think that if they maybe took out not take out, well, yeah, I guess take out. So do you think if they actually like took out the instigator rule might make guys think twice about throwing those hits?
Yeah, one of the great things about our game is that there was always a sense of accountability, right? Like you knew, like I forget who said it, but if somebody took a run at Steve Yzerman, they didn't have to wait for a call from the league office. Yeah. Their accountability was Bob Probert. That was how they were going to be held accountable. And again, I know a lot of people who are going to watch this and go like, is this guy for real? Like, is he really talking like that? But I really think that if you talk to people in the game, they might tell you that we've lost a lot of our accountability. Mm-hmm. And again, it's not about fighting. It's not about that. It's just about holding the guys accountable for what they do out there. And an argument can be made about the stick swinging and how the checking from behind and how the recklessness and the lack of respect that some players have for others, because they know that, all right, worst case scenario, I get 2 minutes or 5 minute checking from behind penalty or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if in my term I'm going to see drastic changes to the game that will bring us back there, but it would be interesting to be around long enough to see that, because I don't know how much further we could go, in the direction that we're headed before it's not hockey at all. Mm-hmm. It's just some game that those that want to play can play. And look, reality is we have to make it more feasible for all people, not just those that can afford it. That's a game changer as far as I'm concerned. The other thing is that to have these tryouts in 5 months before the season starts, that's a big issue with me. And then the things about the game itself that I think we need to reflect on, and maybe have a hockey summit and just evaluate what's good and what isn't good for our game.
I agree.
Well, speaking of that, Hammer, so there was 2 incidences we could talk about just last year, or was it this year, where you had Tkachuk and Cassian.
Oh.
Where Gallagher got a broken jaw from just one of the most vicious hits I've seen, and not a thing was done other than him getting a 1-game suspension. Like, I don't understand how you're moving hockey in a forward direction with that.
Yeah, I don't even know how I can comment to that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I could be sitting here with Todd or Kyle or my coaching staff, and this is how heated some of the topics are. Like, we could have varying degrees of interest or thoughts about these very things, and I and with guys that have played the game. So I understand, and these are all personal opinions. We all get that. I just think that back to your question about the instigator and things like that. Sometimes I think there's a real move to change our game, and I don't know. We've said forever that this is the greatest game in the world. It's the greatest game in the world because because Canadians are good at it. We spend a lot of time at it. We've nurtured it. We've grown it. We've seen it evolve over the years. Why do we continually feel like we have to change it? Like, I had this discussion with my son the other day, and you don't see the other big sports changing the fundamental elements to their game. Like, you don't see NFL football going from 4 downs to 3 downs. And yeah, one could argue about the quarterback rule and stuff like that. but I just feel like there's just such a feeling that we have to sell our game to the American market, that it's changed our game, and I just would like, I would just like to get some of that back, and I don't know if we will. I really don't. We might be too far to the right, and we may not ever get that back. But I long for the days as a fan and as a player, and frankly as a coach, where I can be involved in a scenario like a game at the old barn.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the kids growing up that have never experienced that. Mm-hmm. But the 4,000 on a nightly basis that were at the old Windsor Arena, to experience a Spitfire game from there, like I said, you didn't even have to have a fight. You knew that your team had to compete on that night, or you're going to get blown out. Mm-hmm. But you had to compete. Yeah. And you couldn't go into the corners with 10-foot sticks. You had to get the pucks first and make plays. And again, isn't that what we all want our game to be?
Yeah.
And like I'm so encouraged by the level of play that that's why I love this time of year, the World Juniors. Like there's no fighting in that game, but they compete like hell. Like every team competes like crazy, mm-hmm. and that's what I love. That's what I love. And again, completely different game. I had the Team Canada, the university team with the FISU Games a couple of years ago in Krasnoyarsk, Russia. Completely different game over there, boys. Completely different game in Europe. Mm-hmm. And again, like our guys would come back and you could hear the conversations. Like you couldn't finish a check because they're, if you finished a check and you weren't within 3 feet of the guy, that was a penalty. Well, okay, you might as well just throw a puck out there, and that's so. It was very different. Our game is ever changing, and I just wish we'd pump the brakes a little bit, and if we do make some changes, maybe try to rethink some of the things that we've taken out of the game, and see if it might be better if we put those back in.
Hell yeah.
My 2 cents.
Last thing that I love it too. Last thing that I have for you, Kevin, is what are you going to do after hockey?
Bro, I have no idea. I'm a lifer. I mean, this is, I have had such a tremendous experience through our game as a player and as a coach, and it is so gratifying for me to hear from players that I've coached from, and to see these young men and the fathers that they've become, and the productive citizens that they've become. I don't ever see myself completely out of the game. I really don't. We've got a nice run going here at the University of Windsor. There's still a lot of unfinished business here, and I don't know. That may be a question you could ask me in 10 years, but right now it's I would think, I see Perp in the arenas every now and then. He's watching his grandkids, and I think down the road, my kids would kill me if they heard me saying this, but down the road, I'd probably become a fan of their kids and just kind of go through it all over again. And isn't that what we do? And I love it. Love being around it. Like hearing from people like you, and love being involved in the game, and the excitement that the next game brings, the preparation, the grind and the exhilarating feeling of being in the dressing room with your team, having just won a big game, and to go back into the coach's office and to share that with the coaches, and know that a few of the things that we did worked, and to see the personal stories of guys that have no business, that truly can't afford to be here, but are working jobs so that they can play at this level, to see them succeed, and then afterwards to see them go on and get the, jobs and to see how hard they fight for it. Look, it's hockey has been pretty good to me, and my involvement in it is I don't even want to think about me not being in the game right now, but I'm still really enjoying not just being in it, because I don't just want to be in the game. I want to make an impact.
Yeah.
I want to be relevant. I still want our guys to come to the rink and be challenged, and I still want our coaches to be challenged. And I think whether you're 20 or 50, I think that's what everybody wants to do. And you want to come to the rink and just feel good about your role there. And I do right now. I'm surrounded by some great people, here at the University of Windsor, and I just like I said, we got some unfinished business here, and I'm looking forward to getting through this COVID period and seeing what tomorrow will bring.
That's a absolute perfect answer.
Okay, so I still have probably about 25 questions left for you. I don't know what kind of time you got, but
unless the vaccine is here in Windsor and I'm next up, I have all the time in the world for you. So we're still awesome. Good, I think.
You can make this a two-parter. That's no problem.
That might.
So I back to the question just before, the one that Ant just asked you. I always thought, so just say over the last 10 years, I always thought that Gary Bettman was trying to create a league that he would be able to play in, just like Putin.
I don't know, Rob, if I'd go that far, but I will tell you this, that, when you don't know somebody, like I don't know Gary Bettman. I know that he's an accomplished business person, but when you read books like Berkey's Law and things like that, and you hear a guy like Brian Burke speak so highly of Gary Bettman, like clearly the guy is good for the game. I just I just sit back and again, I have limited information. Right. And they're the ones that have they're trying to sell the game at that level. But I just, I don't think Gary Bettman has ever seen a game at the old Windsor Arena. And no. I'm not sure if Berkey has, but, I'll tell you, it's those days are, that would turn anybody into a fan. To come and watch a game at the old Windsor Arena for sure.
Yeah. But like I'm just joking about that, you know what I mean? But like let's say Brian Burke got Gary Bettman's job. I think that would be much better for the game because he would play both sides, because he's played the game and he's been all on management side too. Like where Gary Bettman is more of the business side of it, not so much the game side of it. I personally think, and I could be wrong, but I think with a guy like Berkey, you honestly have a better product on the ice. And that's my opinion.
Oh, and I think that would be a popular view for a lot of people that, but I can only tell you this, that, unless you sit in his seat, unless you deal with the challenges of being in the commissioner's chair, we really don't know, what's involved. And for a guy like Brian Burke to speak on his behalf and to say how unbelievable he has been for the game, I think speaks volumes for Gary Bettman. I don't know the man, and look. In spite of what the NHL does, I mean, we still have people here in Canada making decisions for our game, right? I mean, we could have our game too. We don't have to, cater to the NHL. We can cater to, what's best for our game, at the youth level, junior level, and whatever. Because at the end of the day, people are still coming to Canada for their players. That's a reality. So, that would be a real interesting conversation to have, Rob, with people that know both of them intimately well, and who knows, that may turn out to be the case. I don't know how much longer Gary Bettman has at the wheel, and whether or not Brian Burke will even be interested in that. But who knows the direction that game is going that game at that level is going to go. Look, nobody can argue that. Like, I am so excited for January 13th, to watch Montreal play Toronto, and I was so excited for the World Junior Tournament. I mean, anything live is and this game, come on, I am so fired up about watching the game again, and I know my coaching staff is like, we're watching, we're taking apart, Germany and Austria, or like we're thinking, and we're sending texts to one another about what we like, what we didn't like. Everybody is I would assume in the same situation. We're all just so tired of COVID that we just want to get through and see some live sport. And what better way to do it than the string of the World Junior Tournament and then the NHL knocking on the door, and who knows, that'll bring us into hopefully will be a good summer, and then we're right back into September with hopefully things back to normal.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. So back to your Bell River days. You had a year there where you went undefeated.
Yeah. That happens when I heard once, and it still is true today. You want to be a good coach, you get off the bus with the great players, and we had such a great team in those days, and they were just better than everybody else we'd played. Like, we had guys like Danny Seaman, Jason Robinson, Todd Campo, Mike Paley. I could go on and on and on and talk about some of the players that we had. We're just real good, but again, Rob, it's true that we had an unbelievable team there. We had an unbelievable team in Leamington. We had 4 first-round draft picks in Leamington, and it ran away with the league, and then lost in a Game 7 to Chatham. We ran into some injury problems. And that team in Leamington, we had Jason Penner, Steve Ott, Tim Gleason, Eric Reitz, 4 first-round draft picks. We also had Jason Wilson, D1 to Brown, and we had a couple other Division I guys, and probably a couple others that couldn't get in because of marks. Unbelievable talent, but didn't win. And I'm very hesitant to take too much credit, any credit for the wins, because I think it's unfair that the coach gets credit when teams are that successful, and I think it's unfair when to some degree that the coaches get the blame when things don't go right. So you got to be careful, and but I can tell you that not every team wins its last game, and if the measuring stick is you're only successful if you win your last game, then how wrong is that? Then so many people that play the game, they must be doing a lot of brutal things if the only team that's successful is the team that wins a championship. That couldn't be any more wrong. So I thought that year we finished second and third, that first year at Bell River, I think those guys were just as successful as perhaps the team that you're talking about, Rob, because they gave me what they got, and they gave me what they had. You want to talk about players or things that you evaluate your players and with them. Those are the kind of things that leave everything. The guy that leaves everything at the rink, You know, I mean, we had some tremendous teams back then. That's true. We had some tremendous teams in Leamington. We had tremendous teams in Sarnia when I coached there. We had tremendous teams at St. Clair College. We have a tremendous team now, you know, at the University of Windsor. But guess what? They got a tremendous team 2 hours up the road. And unless everybody's on the same page and singing from the same song sheet, you can't win today. Like you have to have everything in sync. And I think, you know, back to your question about how the game has evolved, that's the thing that's a constant. I think, like, even as good as that team was at 40-0 or whatever it was. I mean, I forget how many 1-goal games there were, but there were teams where, you know, times where Aaron Barash would not let us lose, or Dan Seaman would not let us lose. Mm-hmm. You know, where Mike Paley made a big save when he shouldn't have, or, you know, like, just it. I'm blessed.
It's a game, right?
Yeah, and
the gods are smiling on you.
Yeah, and all that being said, I'd much rather be on a team that's 40-0 than 0-40.
Oh yeah.
You know, but there's tremendous amount of things to be learned through that, and again, to run into some of those guys today, it's just priceless, and I get emotional at times, you know, when I see some of my players walk in, you know, with their kids into the rinks, and you know, it's just sense of gratitude is just overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you brought up Mike Paley, who's a 2-time repeat offender on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, how did you end up getting him on your team, like, for Bell River there?
Mike Paley, where do I begin? Again, there's a you know, I mean, he was a junior B player who hadn't won at the junior B level, and he was a prime target in those days for the Essex 73s, for the Bell River Canadians. And without remembering exactly what I said to Pales, I can pretty much tell you, because it was my mantra, like, you want to win, like, jump on board here. And, you know, like, you got to play within the rules, and, you know, every league has them, but everything over and above that, you have to be willing to outwork people. And Mike Paley just didn't show up on our doorstep. Dan Seaman just didn't show up on our doorstep. You know, these guys they're top end players, but everybody's going after them. Mm-hmm. And you have to, in some way, convince them that, you know, your year here in Bell River is going to be productive, and you're going to be a better person, and you're going to be a better hockey player. Well, what do you mean, coach? Well, how good will it be to always know that you have a chance to be a champion? That's a pretty cool thing. And I didn't have that through all my years of junior. Mm-hmm. Not once did I have a coach. We lost in an M's division final when I was in Brantford. We lost to the Windsor Spitfires in Game 7. That's as close as I came to a championship team. I didn't know how to be a champion. And yet here you are being offered an opportunity, because there's no guarantees, but you're being offered an opportunity to be a champion. Now think about what that would mean for you, right? So all of the work and effort that you put in, and there's no guarantee, but the translatable skills that you can take from this journey to a championship, and your journey to, like, I think if you ask Mike Paley what perhaps his, you know, most gratifying hockey experience was, he might say that year with the Bell River Canadians. Why? Because it taught him everything there was to know about setting goals, not having anything come easy, because he shared the net that year, but the gratifying feeling of working so hard for something, and for all that to come full circle, and then to win your last game, pretty cool thing. And I know it's oversaid and it's cliche that, you know, you win today and you walk, you know, hand in hand with the people in that dressing room forever, and it's true. Mm-hmm. It's true. our Queen's Cup team, 2014 here at University of Windsor. Like I could tell you every player probably where they were sitting in the dressing room.
Holy shit.
And the to talk about that season and what we did, we had a better season the year after. I think we ended up, I want to say 22-3 or something like that. We ran away with the league and then sputtered in the playoffs. Happens at this level. The playoffs are 2 of 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the national championship that second year. But the reality is, it's a blessing to be a part of this game. Further blessing to be successful at it. But it's not the measuring stick that people should be using. To win the last game. I have a different landscape than the guys up the road. I have a different set of tools in my kit than somebody up the road, and they have a different one than me. So, some better, some for the better, some for worse. But at the end of the day, it's I'd rather win than lose. But at the end of the day, it's about being in this dressing room with a group of guys that are all pulling in the same direction, and the gratification you get out of people that truly make you feel that what you did, if not for just a moment in time,
mm-hmm.
was important in their life.
It's a fucking brotherhood, man. It's like something that those guys will have for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and look, some guys don't get it right now. Some guys don't get it. If I told you how many times I cursed Mike Keenan when I played for Mike, and it wasn't until an alumni event years after I had a chance, I sat down and had a beer with Mike and said, look, I said, I think our relationship wasn't a good one, but I think you're misunderstood. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't mature enough to be dealing with a lot of the things that you gave me in those days. Yeah. And I really think, and a lot of times I don't get those letters and emails until well after the guy has left our program, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And look, we can't be all things for all people, and not everybody is going to get the same gratification or same things from our program. We like to think that they're better human beings when they leave than when they came. I'd be disappointed if they couldn't say that.
Mm-hmm. But
not everybody is going to understand or agree with you only getting 8 minutes of ice time instead of 15. Mm-hmm. That is, but guess what? They disagree across the river, with the Red Wings, but same stuff. Those are disagreements. And I tell my guys, I care a lot about my guys. I wear my feelings on my sleeve. They know that I go to war for them, and I'm passionate about my players and my team. And like I said, some guys get it. Some guys never will until they have an aha moment like years down the road. But at the end of the day, we're not trying to be people pleasers. We're not. We're just trying to do what we do and do it ethically and trying to do the right thing. And if players in our room and people in this organization, if they can just pull themselves out and see the kind of stuff that goes on here on a day-to-day basis, and if they're the kind of people that can't appreciate that, then somewhere along the line we made a mistake with that person. Mm-hmm. And those are far and few between. We've got an unbelievable group here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because we've had so many guests come on here and basically say, I know more than the coach, and then they say, now in hindsight that I'm at the age that I'm at now, I should have been listening instead of talking.
Yeah, well, look, if you could tell that to every recruit that I have, And at the end of the day, they're still coming in, and you know, the metrics of a hockey player at this level are completely different than that of a basketball player or football player or whatever. Typically, my guys are coming in to my program, and they've been pampered. Let's be honest. They've come from pretty good organizations. I mean, we've got junior C teams taking their players to the Bahamas at Christmas time. You know, we've got they're being pretty well taken care of. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, you know, when my guy skates on the ice, there might be a couple hundred people here at Capri Center. They're coming from rinks and programs where there's 5,000 and 10,000 people a night watching them play. Wow. So it challenges these guys to truly get back to why they fell in love with the game. And, you know, like when a volleyball player plays on a Friday night at the University of Windsor, that's the best night of his life. Like, he goes there on a Friday night, there's a couple hundred people in the stands. That's an unreal night. Mm-hmm. He's an 18-year-old freshman. My guys are 20-year-old freshmen. They've seen there, done that. They've seen it and done it. So it's a little different. The metrics are very different. We understand that. Our admin understand it. Like, there's no secrets. We get it. And look, we just try to do the best we can with what we have. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think we have a tremendous staff in Todd and Kyle and Todd Warner and Kyle McCarrick and Andrew Donaldson and Greg Primack and Ray Master. Like, we have an unbelievable staff that care a lot about our guys. And as long as we can look at each other in the coach's office and say, hey, we're doing the right thing for the right reason, which we are, mm-hmm. How can it be wrong? And yeah, players are going to be at different stages of their maturity as they journey through our program, through any program. I don't expect them to have the wisdom of a 40-year-old as a 22-year-old, yeah. But I do expect them to every single night play with emotion. I do expect them to be disciplined both on and off the ice. I do expect them to say thank you to the equipment people and to the people that are around here. And there's a level of execution that they have to have at this level as well. So those are things that are non-negotiables. Mm-hmm. Again, some players get it, some don't, and some players, you know, I've got a tremendous amount of respect for student athletes. They deal with things that, you know, over and above what they have going on in their own personal lives. Mm-hmm. Mom, dad, jobs, girlfriends, whatever. They got to come to the rink, get beat up by me. They're going to the classrooms. They're getting beat up in the classroom. I mean, they're exhausted. Yeah. And we have to be sensitive to that. Like, so they can't be out doing what normal students do on a Wednesday night and show up on a Thursday and be ready to take on Western on Friday night. Can't do that. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that go into being a student athlete and playing at this level. And you know, I got a lot of respect for those kids. Mm-hmm. Still feel we're writing a story here. We got some great days ahead of us here at the University of Windsor, and we've got a great group. And I'm really excited about the promise of this group. Who knows, with the uncertainty of COVID, what our roster is going to look like in September? Nobody across the country knows. But I think our recruiting efforts have been very strong thus far, and we, you know, clearly I would expect the University of Windsor to make some noise again next year.
Awesome. Well, we really hope to get you back on again real soon, because I still have probably about 15 more questions for you.
Yeah, I apologize for being long-winded with some of those answers. I you know, when you bring up stuff like the things that you brought up, sometimes you know, I don't talk about those things very often, and when I have a chance to do it, it just comes out. I think that and COVID fatigue, it just hey, I'm just happy to talk to anybody right now.
See, that's the whole point why we do all this, though, is because we don't like. One of the things we always say to guys too is don't feel like you're rambling. This is why we got you on. We want to talk to all those local guys. We want to talk to all those local teams, because not only are they great coaches, but they're former like players, and they're just guys in all these towns that make a difference in hockey. And you are one of those guys that make a difference in hockey around here, Kevin. So we want to wish you all the best moving forward. Hopefully you guys get to play some games soon so we can shoot up there and watch some games and maybe slug back a few beers after maybe.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. And, like I said, this is a really a group effort here. And I'm really fortunate to be working with the people I'm working with at the coaching level, and to have the support that we have, and to be able to give these young men a place to play that they can be really proud of. And hopefully, like I said, I mean, you don't want to measure every season by winning the last game, but it sure be nice to win one more time here in Windsor. And I want my players to experience winning in this city. I really do. There's nothing like it, and that would be a real treat for us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anybody can lead him there, Kev, it's got to be you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks,
boys. All right, Kev. Thanks so much, man.
All right. Have a great day, and stay safe.
You too, buddy.
Thank you.
It's your Kevin Hamlin. That was the full interview now over this week and last. That guy is a hockey fucking dictionary. That guy.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great coach, eh?
Oh, just.
And we didn't even get into him winning 2 QUA Coach of the Year.
Yeah, he was like.
What a.
Total beaut. He's next level when it comes to coaching. Guys are always working hard for him. He knows how to get his guys to work hard for him. He's a very positive coach. He's a player's coach.
Yeah,
is what he is.
And coach with Todd Warner and Mike Paley. Yeah,
and I think Wellwood's with him too, right?
I think he is now.
I think Wellwood's with him now, right? So shout out to everybody there, Kevin and all his staff over there with the Windsor Lancers. So shout out to those guys. Good luck next time they actually get to play hockey. So when they do, Rob, we'll have to go check them out.
100%.
Real quick here, Patrick Laine being a fucking whiner. What do you think on Laine right now, Rob?
What an idiot.
What do you think?
What an idiot. He compared himself. Oh, Wayne Gretzky was traded too. Like, what are you talking about?
I see his point, but that's a dickhead comment. But
you put yourself in a category with fucking Wayne Gretzky?
Do you think he was putting himself in that category, or do you just think he was saying that if Wayne Gretzky got traded, anybody can get traded?
So you're still putting yourself in that category with Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah, I guess kind of. I can kind of see what he's saying.
Bullshit. I can bullshit move.
But
and then to say that you don't pay attention to what your fucking agent says? Come on.
Just making all the right moves, eh? He seems like he's gonna piss his whole team off too.
Let alone another team that he's gonna go play for.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just a head case.
Here, I'm gonna say it to this right now. Mr. Laine, you get paid millions of dollars to play hockey. You get paid millions of dollars to play the sport you love. Okay. You fucking people look up to you. You fucking are noticed everywhere you go when you're in Winnipeg and everything. Why the fuck would you want to leave there, for one? And two, you get paid millions of dollars to play the game you love. So why don't you shut the fuck up? Go into your dressing room, play hockey, play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and shut up. And if your team wants you, they'll keep you. And if they don't want you, they'll get rid of you or they won't sign you. Okay. Like that's the way.
Well, you have one of the best coaches in the league, and you're surrounded by just fucking studs.
Yeah. Like
Winnipeg's got a wagon there.
That's what
I like Winnipeg. I always have.
Me too. Yeah. Like, and you've been in the league for like 5 years. Who the fuck are you to talk on anything?
Douchebag move.
So whatever. If the guy just shuts up and plays hockey, he can be great. He can be an awesome player. But how many of those guys have we seen go through the league? So Line, here's my tip for you. Even though I'm just a like guy who sips beer and plays every Sunday afternoon. But guess what? I know what it's like to be with the boys. Shut the fuck up and play hockey. That's all I got.
Fucking armchair fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we're doing this, so we can bitch at you. But yeah, just fucking play the game, dude. Jesus. You get paid millions of dollars.
Nobody likes to see it, especially the Winnipeg fans, like this is a guy that was drafted second behind Matthews and now you're just shitting on that city. Like it's terrible. And
this trade rumor shit's been going on for how long? So you know what I mean? Shit or get off the pot. That's my opinion.
Well, like I said before, like in our last podcast, make your own line a number one line.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy.
That's how you do it. Team Canada. You had a couple more things on Team Canada, right?
Yeah, I was talking about that Cousins kid. Like I'd really like to see what he's going to do with this team. Like, Kirby Doc, went out with the injury or whatever. Mm-hmm. And this kid stepped up and he is a beast.
I know. He's unreal.
Like, what a stud.
He's wearing the C now too, right?
Yep.
I think he is. Yeah. Yeah. He's having quite the tournament. So hopefully that keeps going tonight so we can bring home gold would be nice. It'd be real nice.
He's impressive. He's an impressive hockey player. And did you know 20 of Canada's roster are first round draft picks?
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah. 20.
Fuck. Stat guy Rob.
So now they're doing comparisons like who is the best hockey team to play for the gold in the World Juniors. You got the Crosby era with Taves and all that shit. And now you have this team who's got 20 freaking guys coming out of that club with number one draft picks, like first round draft picks. Oh. And it'll all depend if they can beat the US on who's going to be the number one team.
Mm-hmm. I think, well, like we were already saying, it's going to be Canada. Obviously, we're going to say that. But 20 first round picks, that's unheard of. And 39 outscoring your opponents 39-4, like I said earlier in the show. Like, it's not even fucking fair. It's like playing NHL online and you're playing on rookie. It's almost like that. Like, they're just beating teams down. But which is good. It's Canada. It's our fucking game.
Yeah, we'll take that.
What else did you have over there? I know you had a couple other things that you wanted to talk about.
It was the US kid there. What's his fucking name? Zagris. Zegris.
How do you spell it?
Like this. Zegras.
Trevor Zegras, I would say. That's probably how I would say it.
Right.
Yeah.
This kid is freaking unbelievable too. Him and Cousins are tied for the scoring title right now with let me see here. I gotta find it now. And the kid from what's his name? Oh Jesus, he's German. But anyways, he was right up there too.
Is that
goals scored?
Is that that Red Wings draft pick kid that's like 6'6" or something, scoring goals, shooting it through his fucking legs?
No, that's the Swede.
Oh yeah. The Wings have two Swedes on that team that are terrible.
Fucking like 6'7".
6'7", and he's got like ridiculous hands.
Yeah. Like 6'7" forward. Are you kidding me?
To be scoring goals like that? Come on.
Yeah. So Zegras and Cousins are both tied with 16 points.
And this is what, 4 or 5 games?
Zegras leads in assists and with 10, and Cousins has 8.
Jesus. And also, Zegras also was the 9th overall pick in 2019, selected by Anaheim as well.
Nice.
So everybody knows that. So he's going to be, I'm sure he's going to be a fucking NHLer. Someone passed away. Who was it who passed away again, Rob?
John Muckler. It's a sad day because he was huge in hockey. Like he's been a coach, he's been a general manager, you know, like had so many ins and outs with teams. Died at 86. One of Wayne Gretzky's favorite guys. Also play or coached or was a general manager with the Minnesota North Stars, the Buffalo Sabres, Vancouver Canucks, New York Rangers, and Ottawa Senators, and then the Phoenix Coyotes.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, he's been everywhere, eh?
He was Jack Adams finalist. Reached Stanley Cup Finals in 2007.
Knows the game a little bit, eh?
Yeah. It's sad.
Bro.
It's sad.
So sad.
Wayne Gretzky put on a big thing there, saying like he was one of my favorites. Saying that you know, I had great conversations with him, whether it was talking about the game and the defense or the offense, or just family life in general. Like he said, he was one of the greatest men I ever met.
And also, speaking of Wayne, so real quick, rest in peace there. About Wayne, there real quick, I seen a thing on NHL that he got his first hole in one. You see that?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
they're like the great. Why did it take Wayne so long to get a hole in one? He's the great one.
And now he is the greatest one.
Yeah, that's insane, man. I'm all tapped out on the notes and stuff. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
There was one more thing that I wanted to mention, and it was, Kapanen can't go to camp yet for the Penguins because of immigration issues.
Oh, fuck. Oh, boy.
So, but that deal's already done.
So what do they do for that now? They just got to work on getting him his green card or something?
I don't know. It's just saying
visa, like a work visa, not a green
not at camp.
Fuck am I talking
He's
about?
not at camp due to immigration.
Yeah.
So
they're probably not letting him cross.
Right.
And then when he does, he's got to quarantine. So he
will have to, yeah, for sure.
So he's going to be out 2 weeks off the hop.
Yep.
Right away. That sucks because how many games are you going to miss?
Well, camp just started right now, and there's no exhibition games. So they're going right at it, and it starts on the 13th. Yeah. So what are we right now? We're on the 5th.
Yeah, so it'll be the 6th by the time this drops. So the season's a week away.
Yeah. Whew. So depending on how that works out.
So he's going to miss at least a week.
Yeah.
At least. So he's going to miss, 1 to 2, depending on when he gets over there. But, yeah, man, that's fucked though. That sucks. Get traded or whatever. You sign with a new team and then you can't even go over there and meet them or skate or anything because you can't get across the border. That sucks. And for them, for the Pens, that sucks because now you're fucking paying this guy and you can't even have him do anything yet.
Yep.
So it's kind of a shitty situation for both, but
he'll probably miss a first week or whatever, as long as this shit gets taken care of right away.
Yeah, you think the teams would have lawyers or something that would be able to work something out for him, but who knows? Leave that to all the rich suit dummies. But all right, I'm all tapped out. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I think we're getting Chinese food tonight.
Nice.
So I think we're gonna do that. I'm gonna watch Canada game. And I'm gonna
have to go to bed. Like, as you can see, it's 6 o'clock almost.
6:10.
Yeah. So me and Glenn are gonna make some pizzas, and I'll take a nap.
Watch Canada game.
Watch Canada game.
All right, buddy. So until next week, we'll talk to everybody next week. And Rob signing off. Go Canada, by the way. So we'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.
Yeah, I can get behind any man.